Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Python Gurukul. Today we'll be talking about Python inheritance and we'll be covering single, multiple and multi-level inheritance. We'll be also exploring super and MRO function which are very important for inheritance perspective. So let's get started. We'll start with the definition of inheritance. Inheritance enables us to define a class that takes all the functionality from the parent class or the class which exists and it allows us to add more. To understand it better, we need to familiarize ourselves with a few terms like derived or child, base or parent. So the new class which is going to be created will be called derived or child class. The class from where we are inheriting everything will be called base or parent class. In this example, the class car will be the base class, where automatic and manual, which have been derived from the class car, will be called a child class. So keep moving. And as you said, to understand it better, we need to understand super as well. So super function give us the capability to access methods from the superclass or the class which we are inheriting. It has two way of use. We can say two use cases. One could be in the single inheritance. It is very straight. By just using of the super, we don't have to use the class name. We'll be able to access the superclass, or we can say that the parent class methods. The another use case will be using the super where we have multiple inheritance. But there we have to also explore another term MRO, which we'll be exploring later. But just think that in the dynamic, in those situations where we have multiple inheritance, the dynamic execution occurs, and we'll be using the MRO to understand in those cases how the super will be useful. So let's go ahead and learn about the MRO. MRO is method resolution order. It just says that in what order Python should be looking for methods. And to give us clarification, also we have two functions, either MRO or the MRO. We'll be able to use this function and print out the order in which Python is going to look for the methods. Again, to understand the MRO, we'll be taking the example of a diamond inheritance. Why we are calling diamond? Because electric and future have been derived from the class car. And again, the diamond is getting derived from the class electric as well as future. Means car is parent for electric and future. Diamond, electric and future is parent for the class diamond. So let's take a look at the class level example. Just for now, think that we have four different classes. The class car is a very common class which we have seen so far. Wherever class electric is inheriting the class car. For now, just say that as soon as we use the class name inside this bracket, we are just inheriting everything. By writing this first line, we are saying that all the features, whatever car has now, electric has access to that. Same thing goes for the future. So in this example, electric is accessing everything from the car. Future is also inheriting everything from the car. But in the bottom, diamond is inheriting from the electric and future both. I know maybe it looks a little confusing for now, but just hang on. I will take some live examples and you'll be able to understand it better. So far we have been talking about inheritance. Now we know how it works. We also took a look at the super and MRO. Now it's time to take a real live examples. So let's go to one of the sample program. And through this sample program, we'll explore the inheritance. So this particular car, class car, which has init, get car, set car, were usual one of the class car. But class A, which is inheriting the car class, which was already there. So for now, I'm just going to minimize the class car. And now our focus will be class A. So again, as we do most of the places, we do the initialization, then we'll have some function which will work on this data. But in this case, we had model name and transmission. Model and name already initialized in the class car, so we don't have to do it once again. By just simply saying super, we'll be able to access the init function. So whenever we are saying super and init, we are talking about this particular function. And then we are initializing model and name. Again, very similar thing with the get car. We know that we want to retrieve everything from the data. So already these two information were retrieved with the help of get car. Only we need to add the transmission, but we can say that super dot get car and then add the information. Very similar thing we are doing here too. So we can see that power of inheritance. We don't have to drive everything from scratch. The child class has access to the parent class. Okay, what we are doing down here. So as soon as we create the object with name A007, initialization will happen. We are calling this particular person, and then with the help of super, this is being called. So that's the beauty of it. The person who is going to use the class A, even he is not aware what is happening here, but he knows how to use, so he will be able to make use of it. So we can see that we were able to initialize model, name, and the transmission. And these two persons are not from the class A. These are from the class car. But with the help of inheritance, with the help of class A, we have access to the class car. So we are able to create object out of it. So now we got A007. Typically, as we do the get car. Get car will be called, this function will be called, and this function will call this particular get car. So this chain will be continuing. Let's bring the program and say Python inheritance and take a look. This is very straight. We did the get car. We got this information. We call the set car, which updated some information. Again, we are calling the get car. So that's what we are saying. One time, model was 2025, then it was 2030, GM Tesla, and first car was transmission was automatic. The next car was hybrid. Let's go back to our slide once again, and we'll move on. So now we'll be talking about multi-level inheritance. What we are saying, we had the class car. We are inheriting everything from the car to transmission. And then from we are inheriting everything to the moonroof class from the transmission class. So now we can see that this is the multi-level. T has inherited everything from car, MR has inherited everything from the T, and this can goes on. But for simplicity, for our session, we'll be just taking this 3 level and we'll be calling it multi-level. But we don't have limit, we can go on. Again, we have already looked car class several times, so in this diagram we are not showing, but we are just showcasing that we have created the class A, inherited everything from car, and only we added few information. We already looked at in our last session. Now we have class B, inheriting everything from A, and here things become interesting. Now we are calling super. So super is going to call the class A or class car. As for our previous definition, super goes to the parent function. So whenever we are saying super inside the B, it is saying that the function which is derived in the A, and again it is linked to the car, so it goes on. But whenever we say super, we are saying super of init means super of class A. We are saying super dot get car, we are saying super of class get car of class A, and so on. So what we see here, we added transmission information. In the class B, we added another function, another method we should be saying, operate moonroof, and we added some more information here. So now let's go back to the sample program, and bring the multi-level one. So our program is going to be a little bit longer, but just copy paste. We know about the class car. I'll just hide it. Now we are looking at A and B. We have inherited everything to A. We already saw this sample, so I'm just hiding here. Now we are looking at class B, and B is inheriting everything from A is inheriting everything from the car, and so on. But the thing I want to highlight it in the multi-level is whenever we say super, we are saying super is just reflecting to the parent. If it is a multiple, we'll be seeing about that later. But for now, as we are doing the multi-level and super just indicate to our parent. Again, let's bring the command prompt and run the program, and let's see how it goes. So Python, we are going to bring this time inheritance multi-level. Okay, and very similar thing what we have did here. We created the class A, initialize everything, but in this chain, the things will go a little further. We are saying inherit everything from A, and whenever we created object A007, the init function will be called from the B. B will call the A init function, and A will call the car inherit function. So the same thing will be going, and the same thing goes for gate car. Once we have the information, here also we have showcased that we can simply call the operate group as well. That's what I'm showcasing here. But the only thing, take a look at that gate car, and whenever we do the initialization, this one showcase that how we can use the multi-level inheritance, and that's what we did. So let me go back here. What we did here, we call the gate car, everything was printed. Only one thing we modified, we say that moonroof should be false. So now, once again, we are printing the things will be all as it is, like model, name, but moonroof will be false. That's what we did, and we again call the gate car, and we are showcasing that it is printing the latest information. Let's go back. And now we'll be talking about multiple inheritance. So previous one we had the multi-level, but now we are talking about multiple. So we can have class car, we can have class electric, and so on. And everything is being inherited inside one future class will be called multiple inheritance. Again, our focus will be class future. Already we have seen class car, we have seen class electric, and now what we are trying to do, inside the future, we are inheriting multiple classes. In this example, for simplicity, we have just called two classes, car and electric. And things became interesting here. And this one will be one of the example for our MRO function. What we did here, we are calling super. So we know that super indicates about the parent class, but in this case, we have two parent, car and electric. So which function we are talking about? MRO feature comes handy, and it tells that whenever we look for the methods, we go bottom to top, and then we go left to right. So in that case, bottom to top, first class is car, and inside the car, we can see that we have the init function. Init is here, and then it is able to find. But for electric, we have to specify saying that electric class and then call the init. Again, we have the initialization here. Now we are adding one more information. We are saying supersonic speed, and then we define the gate car. Again, in the gate car, we want to print all the information. We were able to print the information from the car with the help of super.gateCar, but for electric, we have to use the class name electric and print and then add the information from this particular feature class. So let's go back to the notepad and bring the multiple inheritance. and run the program Python and multiple. So we see that it has so the self was missing. So we have saved the program and we are going back and rerunning the program once again. And we can see that we have got the object, we are getting the gate car, printed all the information here, and then we are saying F01 charge. So that's we showcase. One more thing which we have been keep talking, the MRO. So what we can do by the just simple class, we are just going to represent that how the MRO prints the order, which will be very useful whenever we are using and we have lots of inheritance. Then by using the MRO, we can print and help with the triage. So let's take a look. Let's bring the command prompt and run this program, Python inheritance, and call the MRO. So what we see here, the MRO, which we have just print diamond.mro, what it is doing, it is just printing the order. So we'll start with the class main diamond. We are talking about this class. So whenever we'll be searching anything, it will be first looking at the diamond, and then the electric class will be looked for because it is left to right, so it is starting from the electric and electric. And then we have class future. So we started from the bottom to top. So first electric, then future, and then we have the class car. So that's all I had for today. And thank you all for watching. If you like, please share and subscribe.